Alright, so sorry I haven't done a video in a while. Been referring people to this site, foundationtraining.com by Dr. Eric Goodman. And as soon as I saw his videos on YouTube, I knew he had everything right. And it'll come to you in time, but you'll agree with me that this is how it is because everyone's trying to treat individual parts of the body. And chiropractors know they got to treat the spine as a whole. So this is about strengthening the muscles that lengthen the spine. He calls this the posterior chain. So this makes up your multifidus, spinal rector muscles, and a lot of muscles I talk about in my videos that lengthen those spine, open up the joints. So it's kind of like doing spinal decompression on yourself. So he's got some options here. Unfortunately, looking at the map here, not many trainers locally. So and I've also stopped my classes because I'm like, this is it. You know, you guys don't need me anymore. Go do these. I made a playlist here. If you go to on my channel playlists, um, it's teaching yourself to stand up straight. Got 5 videos. Interviews with Dr. McCullough because I know a lot of you guys like Dr. McCullough. So if Dr. McCullough is interviewing this man, you should probably want to listen. And I put one of mine there on the bottom, just to break things down a little bit more, give you some visuals on arthritis and how it develops and disc degeneration and all that. Right. So I will agree to do one-on-one or couples classes, probably only one time a week. But at this point, I want you to watch all these videos. All 5. I'll probably do it on Sundays. So if you don't like Sundays, then you're just going to have to go with finding a trainer that's far away, or doing this, getting the book or the DVD, which I have not done. I'm still going to teach my stuff. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and added this in because this is a basic move that we should all be doing. Instead of bending from the spine like we always do, everyone's always rounding and bending from the spine to pick up their objects. Instead of going into this hip motion, hinging from the hips, stretching the hamstrings. And we're sitting all day, and it's aggravating our lower backs. It's making our backs weak. And you can see posterior pelvic tilt. They're going to round. They're going to flatten the lumbar spine. Anterior pelvic tilt, athletic hip. They're going to curve in too much. See, that pelvis is already tilting that direction. You can see what that's doing to the lumbar disc there. It's pressing it forward, or if it's posterior, it's pressing it back into the spinal cord. So a lot of people would sway back and posterior pelvic tilts. They're getting those numb legs. Why do you think that is? So when you do this properly, the disc will be even. You can see there's always, the knees are not locked, but also they're not bending. Everyone who tries to do this, the knees bend and they go way forward past the toes. And if you look at the 2 guys here doing this right, and even this guy down here, that knee is pretty much right in line with the ankle. And in this guy's case, the knee is almost behind that ankle. We can just move that down there a little bit so you can see that. Right? So that's what you want to be going for when you're just approaching objects throughout the day. I'm trying to do this too, and that can help keep you out of pain. But his whole program is to strengthen your back. So when you sleep in a ball, you're not going to hurt yourself. People like, you shouldn't go to bed with your head slightly turned and wake up with the bones out of place. You know, that's odd, right? All this supporting structure and muscle balance, and it's just popping out of place while you're sleeping. Does that make sense to you? Did that happen to you when you were a kid? No. It's because imbalances have been created so much over time. Even with like roller coasters, anything like that, we should have enough stability to withstand that. So normal injuries like bumping and falling into things, oh, I popped out my back playing golf. We should be able to handle that kind of stuff. Our spine should be strong enough to handle that kind of stuff. You shouldn't have to hit a pothole and your whole spine go out like, oh, I have to go back to the chiropractor because Yeah, we're loosening up the tight areas. Sometimes we're working on the hypermobile areas, and the bone just goes back in so easily it doesn't even pop anymore. It just moves back in. But I know that's not even going to last you getting off the table, walking out the door. So his whole program is based on strengthening the posterior chain, lengthening the spine, opening it up. And I've been trying to get people away from thinking about pelvic tilt too much, but I mean it's there. It's part of the problem. When people start thinking about pelvic tilt, they get confused. Like, I gotta tilt here, I gotta tilt here, and every time they're doing it, they're shrinking. They're shrinking, and that's, forget about pelvic tilt until you learn to lengthen. Once you learn to lengthen, open up your joints, then you start working on your pelvic tilt. And there's so many videos out there, and I like the information. It's not wrong information. It's just they're forgetting, they're doing it piecemeal. They're getting tunnel vision. They're not, and that's the same problem with physical therapists. They're not seeing the big picture here, which is the weakness in the spine. And I have the privilege of seeing lots and lots of people, and I analyze them, and I see where the muscle imbalances are, and how they look when they stand, how they look when they lay, and I feel their spines day after day, and I'm constantly thinking about this stuff and evaluating it. And I see, there's people who have been coming to my father for 40 years who have the worst spines in the world. Like, what has chiropractic done for you? And maybe it's kept you from dying, but have you been living an optimal life? No, your spine is still decaying. I hate seeing people get worse and worse and worse. And people are like, oh, I don't get it. And I'm not getting better. It's like, I'm keeping you from maybe like, being in full-blown pain, but I'm just a band-aid for some people. And yes, there's people's postures who are locked in due to subluxations, the bone being out of place. And usually those people who have never been to a chiropractor, and they get those in place, and they're gonna do so much better with foundation training or with strengthening their posture than they would have done. And working with a chiropractor once you start this training is going to be very beneficial, because once you start getting tone, that's when I can do my best work. If the spine has no tone and it's either jammed up in like a brick wall in certain places, or just gushy and hypermobile in others, just nothing to do. There's really nothing to do. I'm sorry. What else do I want to say here? So yeah, so talk to me if you'd like to do a one-on-one. I don't know what I'm going to be charging yet, and I don't know if anyone will do it, because I've done it for free before and no one came. So obviously there's a disconnect with the issue here. People don't see the issue. They don't see the importance of this stuff. And obviously I feel this is far more important than chiropractic. Not that I don't feel like chiropractic has its own importances. It's just for most of us it's chronic. And you got to deal with those chronic issues first. You got to get the spine strong before you can deal with a lot of this other stuff, like your digestion and your nutrition and your chiropractic. That's going to help you reach the peak that you can. But first you got to get the foundation set first. People are jumping in at the wrong places. They're like, oh, I got to do exercise to lose the weight. And, oh, I blow a disc because I went on the treadmill with horrible posture for an hour. Yeah, I mean, just think about it. Does it make sense to you? So watch these videos here, and watch this it's on the playlist, Teaching Yourself to Stand Right and Eliminate Pain with Dr. Eric Goodman, and a little Dr. Nate at the bottom there. Dr. Nate yelling at you. Eric Goodman, he's nicer, and he won't yell at you, but I'm a little bitter and tainted because I got to deal with this patient after patient after patient after patient. So he's getting people better, so he's happy. I'm watching people get worse, so I'm sad. Makes sense? So, I mean, I haven't ordered the book or the DVD yet. I'm probably going to do that now, give it to my parents or something like that. I mean, I don't feel the need to, because I already understand the main concept, and what I've done for myself has worked. It's just teaching it to other people is tough. And you can't teach it to people who don't show it to class, which is part of the problem. And it's not that easy to learn either. I mean, you're using muscles that your brain hasn't talked to probably in your whole life. Those little tiny muscles in your spine that are they're inhibited is what we call them. And I use this example a lot. It's like when we're constantly doing things or sitting is an exercise. Your hamstrings are bent, they're shortened, so they're becoming tighter over time. and they're pulling on the joints that they attach to, your pelvis and your knees. And the same with your back. If you're bowed and you're rounded, yeah, you're going to get some core tightening, but you're going to round and you're going to inhibit those spinal muscles, which lengthen you and bring you upright. And that's going to be an issue. Activating them later on, because they're going to start to become arthritic because they have to protect the spinal cord. So your body's going to add calcium and adhesions to these ligaments and joints to lock the spine down so it doesn't go any further. Gravity doesn't take it any farther. But you see that progression anyways. People start getting bowed and bowed. And there's people like that who don't actually feel in pain. So you're like, I don't feel in pain, Nate. You know, my posture is supposed to be like this. It's genetic. I'm supposed to have this big hump. And that's fine. If you want to think like that, that's okay. Just don't come whining to me later. Seriously, do not come whining to me later, because I cannot handle it. I cannot handle the stress. I take it far too personally. But if you want help, come to me and make these changes now. Make these changes before you are in pain, because it's easier right now when you're young. And I feel these young spines. I feel these kids' spines, and it's a disaster. They're not in too much pain right now. Some of them are in way too much pain. And for kids, they're like jelly. There's no tone at all because of the devices we use and the way we sit in class. So now there's like, we already had trouble sitting in class for what, 8:30 to 3. Now they're sitting at home with the TV, and we're just not getting enough movement. Maybe that's why I've made enough videos. I'm trying to move more. Change the way you're sitting. Do different things. I try to get my back off the seat. Hinge forward, because then you're bringing those hips behind you. Because most people, when they're sitting all day, the hips are forward. So we're trying to bring them back. That's the first part of this, is pushing those hips back and just picking up objects. Instead of me rounding and picking up an object, I'm just dropping down. Hey, how we doing? Keeping the spine straight. Using our back, using our spine, while creating motion in the hips. Because what happens to the hips when we get older? Lots of people older, what happens? They break their hips. It's because of the fall, right? When they fall, the hip snaps? No, the hip snaps, causing them to fall. That's how it works most of the time. There's so much tension on that poor hip because it hasn't moved in years, and they're walking from their sacroiliac joints, and then the hip just snaps. What happens to those people? 70% die within a year. That's because they're sedentary after that. They're sitting. No, there was so much stress on the spine before that they were going to die anyways if the hip. Because this is a life and death situation here. Your spine, we just not, your spine is your lifeline. It's funny. No, it's serious. It's your spinal cord. You got to keep it strong and protected. This isn't just about looking good or not looking like you have bad posture or just getting out of pain. It's protecting your organs. It's bringing function back to give you long and happy life, not just long life living under drugs and in a wheelchair. All right, so hopefully this helped. Please contact me if you would like a Sunday class. I'll be happy to do an hour with you. I will even give you a booklet for free because I care about this stuff so much. No charge. No charge. Come on. What is wrong with you? If you don't take this opportunity, all my classes for free. Maybe that's the problem. I'm going to start charging like $1,000 an hour. Maybe then people will line up at the door. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the trick. If that's what you want, I'll do that. You know, for you, I'll take that $1,000 and I'll buy it for, I don't know, buy a new car, buy some tea. This isn't even a coffee today, guys. This is a non-coffee rant. This is just a non-caffeinated tea rant. That's how passionate I'm about this stuff. So learn the founder, buy the DVD, buy the book, maybe do the training. He's got a training in October. You can go and become certified in a 4-day course. I'm not going to do it, but you can do it and start teaching people this, and I will shake your hand. I don't know what I can do. I'll buy you coffee for a year. Just just do it. Get into this, seriously. This is important. Keeping your spine strong. I'm tired of the whining. I'm tired of people being in pain. I want to work on people who are working on getting better, going up the hill, not slowly going down the hill into Death Valley, right? We had the Death Valley video before. So I'm just like pushing on people all day long, trying to keep them stop rolling down into the Death Valley, but they're still going there. And you're not going to stop until you stop yourself. Because what I talked to a massage therapist the other day, and he's like, "Yeah, I do like 5% of the work is done here, and 95 of it is done in their life, making the changes there." And that's so true. It's the same with chiropractic. That 5% could be miraculous sometimes. If the right bone is out of place, pressing on the spinal cord, relieving that pressure could be miraculous. And I'm not discounting that. I've seen that, and that's kind of what keeps you going, is those cases, because the other 90% are just getting worse. But every once in a while, you get that one person who can't even walk, and you do that adjustment, and it's a miracle. But there's the chronic issue. There's the muscle imbalance. There's the compressed spine, and nothing is gonna stop that except for you. So get on it, get it done. And hopefully this wasn't too mean, but you guys need a kick in the butt. Seriously. I was there too. I'm not sitting on a high horse right now. I was in so much pain. I was in chiropractic school getting adjusted like every day, being like, what the heck is the problem? I'm healthy, I diet right. Where's the issue? So get on it, people.